So, you know what I mean? You know, as a full-time ghost, you are all about your mobility, your freedom, your self-preservation. You know, everything's about yourself. You know, there is no sacrificing for others if it threatens yourself and your freedom. That's why the full-time ghosting happens. And what happens as you full-time ghost is that it will be harder and harder for people in society to take a grasp or hold on to you, or, you know, because none of what they're selling means anything to you. When you're full-time ghosting, you know, if you're driving a car, let's say your car is 10 years old, and somebody comes up to you, well, you know, why won't you get a new car, blah, 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 blah. You're like, yo, the car works. It works for me. You just keep driving. You know what I mean? You do not care about the opinion of others that are actually attached to the system anyway. You don't care. And, you know, you're numb to it. Your goal is to just continue to move forward in progress. You know what I'm saying? That's all you're about. That's your mindset. That's all you're focused on is self-preservation, zero attachments, and zero emotions. And, you know, when making decisions, when you make decisions as a Casper pillar, you know, Casper pill 1.0, a lot of all your decisions are done from a perspective of, you know, zero emotion, zero attachment, you know what I'm saying, and zero commitment to something that threatens your mobility and your freedom. You know what I'm saying? That's how it works. The Casper pill works and what it's about. Casper pill 1.0. You know, every decision you make is about from a perspective of zero attachments, you know what I'm saying, zero emotion, you know what I'm saying, and your goal is to avoid as much liability and threats to your mobility and your freedom. That is your goal in life and how you know, move forward. That's what it means to be a Casper pill 1.0. You know, it's about physical detachment. You know, once you physically detach from this, you know, from the domestic location you're in, you can move freely. You can move freely all around because you have no attachments. You have no liabilities. You know, anything you own or have is based on business. It's based on profiting and making some money off of it. You know, you don't have liabilities based on, you know, you have them just to have them. You know what I'm saying? So that's the Casper pill 1.0.